Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Full Force News Burst Live with me, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80, brought to you by GeneralsJoesReborn.com. It's a late one, isn't it? My bad. We're coming at you late in the evening, and we're talking leaked balls. Crystal ball, yes, indeed. Yeah, this happened obviously, technically, last night. And I was asleep. I was well away when people started sending me images of these images kind of like doing the rounds. So yeah, I was a little late to the party on this one. Posted them in the morning, like ridiculous in the morning. And yeah, and then all day I've just been thinking about it and like looking at the images and thinking this is crazy cool. Spoiler alert. But we're going to get into those images right now. And yeah, we're going to be talking about a possible, this crystal ball basically, which looks pretty freaking awesome. Hope everyone is doing well in the chat. Hello Ed, hello Chris, hello Sean, hello Jamie Lynn, hello Ben, hello Jeffrey, hello Chris again, hello 610 Yo Joe Daddy. Hope everyone is having a good evening. It is Tuesday. Let's get into it, shall we? Right then, so yeah, we got a bunch of images of what is quite clearly classified crystal ball. The first, I believe, was sent to me, or were said to be Shaw Lu, who had posted them, and we'll go on to those images first. So that is this kind of front and back image. Don't ask me about the red cross. I have no idea what that's about. There might even be better. There might be images without those red crosses on them at this stage. But this kind of popped up on a few different kind of places, didn't it? We saw it on, I think, like Reddit and Weibo and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of been doing the rounds. But I haven't yet seen pictures without the red cross on them. And that, again, like I said, it's been so busy today. I haven't had an opportunity to even think. So looking at what we have, there's still a decent amount of cool stuff on here that we can kind of, that we can see and clearly see that this is a very cool update to this figure. Is this a young version? I don't know about young Jeffrey, but I mean, the head sculpt will kind of give us all we need to know about that. But so far, it's only very basic what we're seeing from the head sculpt, because obviously it's in a, we're not seeing deco, we're not seeing any of that kind of added to it yet. The red cross means you're not supposed to look at this one, says Ed. Probably. In any case, I think this looks incredibly cool and surprisingly close to the original crystal ball. People are going to be going, what are you talking about? It is actually pretty close. It's just the fact that he's wearing a longer jacket rather than sort of like tight corset type thing. the kind of top that he wears on the original, the kind of like the very small jacket kind of waistcoat thing he rocks, actually just rolls into this sort of like long jacket kind of vibe with it like ripped at the bottom, which is quite cool as well. And I really like this way forward. And what I mean about very close to that original style, I'll show you in a second when we look at the kind of comparison. The body underneath is effectively like, very close to that original kind of, like the cues are there as well. What I will say though is they've kind of what I will say though is that they've taken like design cues, I guess, from that from multiple different kind of more modern versions of Crystal Ball where he's appeared in media. It's nowhere near what we saw in like Hearts and Minds. I think he was in like wasn't he in Cobra as well? Pretty sure he was in Cobra with this kind of Chuckles kind of facing sort of storyline. He's been in a few sort of kind of like modern versions. IDW will say, that's an easier way to say it, isn't it? But it's not really taking the cues from that. It's kind of like just kind of building on what the original is, if you know what I'm saying. And like I said, we'll get to that when I look at the comparison in a second. X marks the spot or crystal ball, says Benjamin Yoon. Yes, indeed. Are we sure CB isn't a Dreadnought? That jacket is totally Mad Max. Scott, I mean, he's going to look so... I mean, I have like Big Boa, Croc Master. I have a lot of characters that aren't Dreadnoks with the Dreadnought. Copperhead, I don't know, Copperhead's sort of like a honorary member, sort of like he's often thought of with the Dreadnoks, with the water moccasin and the kind of like swampy kind of vibes. But yeah, like I would definitely have a Crystal Ball, probably with that Dreadnought crew, definitely. Looking like Rasputin, says John. Yeah, the Rasputin one I think was way closer to the IDW than what we're seeing here. I feel like this is like, again, this is what let's get to it. When I was a kid, I used a screwdriver to put Crystal Ball's head on Destro 2's body and pretended he was Count Dracula. That's the most hilarious thing I've ever heard, Ryan. That's absolute genius. Anyway, this is what I'm talking about, right? So the cues are all on this figure from the original. Now the pants, the blue pants with the kind of belt buckle, the boots, the pistol holster, I'm assuming a pistol will be in there as well. That is all solidly what the original figure is. Now you take the jacket part off and it is like, you know, the design underneath is actually like a tampo on the actual shirt underneath that he's rocking. But he, like on the original, it's like what's kind of like holding the jacket over the kind of under garment. It's weird. It's weird design, but I love it. But you can still see those elements taken over into this figure. So if you go up the body, you can see there's like that kind of black undershirt kind of thing that you can just about make out just below the what looks to be tattoo on his body as well. So he's got like a neck, like, or like a decolletage tattoo. And then of course like that little black kind of almost undershirt, and then the brown shirt with the gold kind of deco on it. And then the jacket over the top, which then it kind of brings in the fur, it brings in the shoulder pads, and then he's got the arm kind of like you know, the shoulder gauntlets or whatever you call them, the shoulder kind of guards armor that are very much like the original, with the three kind of like sharp sort of like points, and then the kind of like, yeah, the kind of brown kind of like shoulder points basically. And there is a decolletage showing, but it's not like full-on cleavage like his original. But do you see what I mean? Like in terms of like the cues, everything is there from the original figure. They've just sort of changed the 3D aspects a little bit. And I think I'm going to say it right now. I think this is a phenomenal design. I really love what they're doing here. Paul says, good reuse of Techno Viper boots. I didn't even know they were Techno Viper boots. Good spot. And yes, it is. But yeah, like I'm just really happy with this. Really happy with this. Now you can see that he's got like the wrist gauntlets as well, not gauntlets, but like those kind of like more leather style wrist guards, which is again just like the original figure. Oops, gone too far. And as you can see on the left hand, on the left arm, we have, I mean, I think it's like we have tattoos on both sides, on both arms, but there's a very strong, long, like all the way round bicep tattoo on his left arm. And then the gauntlet is like a glove, basically. So he's got a glove. Obviously, the original doesn't have that. He just had two wrist guards and, you know, and no gloves. I don't know what that was. But this one, he's got like the left glove that goes into a different type of gauntlet. And then on the other side, you've got the classic gauntlet that he has on the original figure. Again, like looks like he's got rings on his fingers as well on the right hand, his right hand, of course, and technically right as we look at it. Oh yeah, because we're looking at it as we are Yeah, interesting. So yeah, very, very cool. And it looks like, again, like it looks to be another tattoo on the left, on the right arm as well. Which is quite cool too. What are we saying? Sorry, I've missed a bunch. I'm sorry, I've missed a bunch of comments. I will catch up. If yeah, same SFN. SV, F and G. If it is Rasputin, I'd be afraid to see accessories too. Paul, I love what they did with him, but I'm getting tired of seeing these figs for the first time in this crappy way. Wish Hasbro could get ahead of these leaks or crack down on them somehow. I know what you're saying, Paul, on that one. Because that's the thing. Like we see these, it's exciting, but again, I think people put too much into what they're seeing at this stage. And we have to kind of say these are probably not final pieces. It looks pretty far along though. But again, I don't think, and it also, lighting has a lot to do with this as well. And, when you have the figure in hand, there are differences that we didn't see on these images. And like you say, the promo images are always really nice and sexy, and I'd prefer to see it that way as well, to be honest. But it's nice to kind of, again, not nice, you know what I'm saying, it's like fun and exciting still to see these. It'd better come with a lenticular shield, says Jedi Ben. I think that they'd be stupid not to include at least a shield with some sort of design on it. If it's lenticular, fantastic. He's an interrogator. He's my favorite next to Wild Bill, says Raw Talk Real Deal. Scott says, not enough chest, I think. Damned modern sensitivity. Give us our cleavage. Free the cleavage, I say, Scott. God Particle Zero. CB looks awesome. I thought they said they were going to in a different direction with him. Well, they have actually technically gone in a different direction. They've zhuzhed it up a lot with that jacket. So yeah, I to be honest, when they said that, I knew we were still getting something that is drawing from that original. But in this case, as I kind of described with that kind of, the kind of like comparison, the jacket is certainly something that they're infusing into this particular design. But yeah, like I said, I think they're keeping close to it. But again, when we actually see the figure, it might be that the head sculpt is a departure, which we'll have a look at in a second. But I mean, like in terms of like the deco and the look and everything. If Marvel Legends Secret Wars figures can come with lenticular shields, this can too. That's a good point, Benjamin. Without a doubt, this is a triumph of redesign, says Ed. I think so too. Just a bummer to see this for the first time in this awful presentation. In pieces, no heads, poor lighting, just lying on a table. Yes, I agree with you, Paul, on that one. Al Vega says, sorry, just getting on. I don't recognize who this is. This is Crystal Ball, Al. They should, you've seen it. They should be able to do the lenticular hypno shield since they did them with Secret Wars figures in Marvel Legends recently. Yes, Airborne's Customs, as someone has already mentioned in the comments. Yep, I think I agree with you guys on that one. I think if Marvel Legends can do it, so can the G.I. Joe team. Anyway, then Nathan Camazel shared this image of what appears to be the head sculpt for the figure. Again, very early version of this. But from what I can gather, it looks very cool. A lot of people like he's a vampire now. I mean, the dude has got some like serious connections with that style, that kind of like that whole vibe. His whole vibe is weird Dracula guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, literally created and designed by Stephen King. This is exactly where I think they should have gone, and I'm really happy they've done something really cool with this guy and given him the little kind of like fangs. Now, they don't necessarily have to be actual vampire. He's not necessarily technically a vampire, but he could certainly have filed his teeth to make fangs. We see that with normal people in this world nowadays. So I don't think that is I don't think this is a crazy, weird or like surprising thing. I think this is on brand for Crystal Ball, and I'm pretty happy about it. Now you can just about make out a tash as well. It looks like he's got the sort of Vincent Price vibe going on as well. Look at a thinner tash from what I can see. It does look like a thin moustache over the top of the lips there. Obviously, on the original, what we do in the red shadows, Ed, is the fun. Oh my god! Oh my god! Have you just won the internet today? Ed said, Ed, the straight edge, absolutely won the internet today. What we do in the red shadows, absolute genius. I'm going to be claiming that as my own all day long. That is brilliant. Fantastic. You are punning it up at the moment. Anyway, yeah. So this one for me is like he's filed his teeth to be like sharp, like to be fang-like. There is no way, we're not dealing with an actual vampire here. They're not that crazy. I mean, it is G.I. Joe. Weirder things have happened, but yeah, this, in my head canon, he just filed his teeth down. Wow, someone is up late or has full force come stateside. I am stateside, Avid. I've been stateside for the last 8 years, give or take a few months. Hasbro coming for Monster Force, indeed, Lawrence. Yeah, he's wearing costume fangs because he's a bit out there. That's another point, actually, Scott. Yeah, he could just have like they could just be like implant, like just like fake. And Airborne's Customs has said, Nathan has told me he wasn't 100% certain this is Crystal Ball's head, but it was offered to him at the same time as this test shot body. Thank you for the extra there, Airborne's Customs. I mean, it pretty much looks like it, but again, it might not be. It'd be great if it is, and it probably will be at the end of the day, but we don't know for sure, is a good point there. But thank you, Darren, for that. What we do in the Red Shadows is the most amazing comment I've ever had on the Full Force head. That is the best pun ever. My hope he'd look like Nicolas Cage is dashed, says Richard Hopeless. Richard Hopeless, have you changed your name because you feel hopeless now that it's not Nicolas Cage's likeness? Will he get red, yellow, or green eyes, says Jeffrey. That's an interesting point. I don't know, actually. They'll probably give him like normal colored eyes. I don't think we go too like green is normal color, of course. Red's a bit out there, and yellow is a bit Sith. But yeah, like green eyes, I think you could get away with, unless you mean like neon green. Raw talk. If he does not look like Vincent Price, it's a fail in my opinion. What now? He got Wu-Tang fangs. I like that. Wu-Tang fangs ain't nothing to. Won't finish that. He's looking great, says Wilfredo. I think so. Raging Herbert says, okay, we're getting Crystal Ball, so when we get in cesspool, let's go. I agree with you on that one. Could you imagine the head sculpt on a cesspool in classified Raging's Herbert? Because that would be the next level of scar on a face, wouldn't it? Like, seriously. The 4-inch one they did for the club was wonderful. Was it the club? It was the club, wasn't it? Cesspool. Yeah. That was a great head sculpt, and still blown away by that one. Oh, my bad. I'm new here, but just sub. Thank you, Avid Dash. Appreciate that very much. Yeah, always appreciate a new arrival or a new sub. That's awesome. With Crystal Ball having the Hypno Shield and now what may be Vampire Fangs, it kind of plays into the vampire power of persuasion. It does actually, Darren, yeah, if that's what we're going with. That's true, Ben, yes. Crazy coloured contact lenses he can have as well. That's very true. The original had red, as did the card art. Oh, yeah, they did, didn't they? Hang on. I literally had it a second ago. Yeah, you can see the red in there. 100, yeah, totally, Paul. My bad. You're right. Maybe they will go with red eyes then. And again, yeah, like they can just, they can like explain that away with contact lenses. They may do some fun stuff with his eyes. Remember Ripper's lens. That's a good point, Scott, as well. I really have not enjoyed Ripper as much as I should. Kitty said. He's literally, I've put them in the Dreadnought space on my display, and I just have not really. I'm gonna redo my Dreadnought display just so I get an opportunity to really give Ripper a little bit more love. Gross. Red eyes are also a vampire trait. Yeah, they are. Yeah. Yeah. Coolsies. Anyway, like I said, just in summary, very, very impressed with Crystal Ball, how he looks, the design, everything. It would be nice, yes, if we could, if we maybe could not get all the leaks before we see them officially, of course. But it's also really exciting at the same time to see this figure. And I've got to say, I'm really happy with the way they're kind of gone with it. Just to kind of, again, to reinforce this particular image we're looking at the moment, the head sculpt, it's not 100% confirmed, but it more than likely is Crystal Ball's head sculpt. But we, we'll see, won't we? Who's how he looks? Nice one, Jamie Lynn. I like it. They'll probably give him Sith style eyes, red, yellow. That would be cool, Jedi Ben, actually. That would be cool. Anyway, it's going to be very cool when this one actually gets dropped finally. And yeah, thanks for joining me. For looking at images, at least. We'll just go through these. Listing 2024, why have I not removed that? Why is that still here? Move on. 2025. As we were initially, well, given in terms of listings that were leaked, the GG Hudson one is Crystal Ball, and that is a Walmart exclusive. So Crystal Ball will be rocking it with the Night Force, and again, that makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, he's that sort of. I mean, that's the. If you'd have said to me, who are we going to see in the kind of Cobra side of the Night Force, who are clearly dealing with existential, weird sort of almost like the stuff that goes bump in the night kind of issues, Night Force. I would have 100% said Crystal Ball is perfect for that. So yeah, it's a good shout to throw him in there, and I'm happy that he's, well, so far as we're aware, it's a Walmart exclusive. Hudson is still showing in Target System though. Don't know, Darren. It's wrong, is all I'm going to say on that one. Full on Zombie Viper's got to be next. Yes, Scott, indeed. Absolutely. Right. So as far as we're aware, Crystal Ball is a Walmart exclusive, and other than that, from what we've seen, looks phenomenal. I hope we do get to see some more images, but at the same time, I'll be happy if we just get the official reveal at some point soonish. I'm just trying to think when there is a winter Walmart Collecticon, isn't there? Have we had that already? I feel like we've had that already, or maybe we didn't. Maybe it was the fall, the fall one. I don't know. In any case, yeah. Fingers crossed for a Walmart Collecticon where we can actually see this revealed. Spooky Crystal Ball definitely fits the Night Force theme, and now we need a werewolf kind of character. Monstro Viper, maybe. That's a cool shout, Ed. Actually, yeah, that would be pretty neat. Jeffrey says storyline Crystal Ball is brought in to control zombie mole rats. Maybe that's another good idea, Jeffrey. I could see that being part of the narrative. Out of Shell Space, I'm late, but they are killing it with the oddball Cobra characters. Love what the team is doing. Agreed. Darren says, I'm not doubting you, just letting you know it is still there for some odd reason. Yeah, it's weird, that, isn't it? I still don't understand. That because of the fact that it just seemed to be based on the other listings that SP meant Target and GG meant Walmart. Obviously, that could be probably interchangeable for whatever reason, but Crystal Ball makes more sense to me, Night Force anyway, than a Target exclusive. So either the internal code word is not correct for Crystal Ball, or there's been an error somewhere in the Target system. I don't know. Whatever happened to the Target exclusive from a month ago? You got me, Jeffrey Smith. We had a listing and everything, and a pre-order listing at that, and it just seemed to disappear. Bad Wolf Media says, because watching Skeleton Crew last night, the first pirate captain character they showed, his helmet looked like a Viper helmet, so now I want one. That's pretty cool, actually. I haven't watched that yet. I need to watch that. Oh my goodness, is that? I didn't even know that was out yet. Man, I'm way behind. I need to. I'm excited for Skeleton Crew as well, so I'm going to check that out. Darren says Winter Collecticon was October 17th to 18th. Okay, so maybe we're looking at the start of the year next year, or like, is it spring? Winter, spring, summer, fall. Yes, so it's spring. So it would be spring Collecticon maybe that we can expect to see it, like officially. I don't know. Maybe not. It depends, doesn't it? 2-episode premiere moved up to last night instead of tonight, Chris. Brilliant. Thank you. I will check those out because I'm really excited for that. It looks awesome. Jello Benson, well, they had Night Creepers in Book of Boba Fett, so Viper Helmet's track. Indeed. Do you remember that? When Book of Boba Fett was on and that scene happened, and it must have been seconds after that scene happened. Screenshots were all over Facebook about, look, Night Creepers in Star Wars. Also seeing the October one listed as fall, so I'm still checking. Okay, cool. Well, maybe there is another one to come. I don't know. Maybe that could be the cheeky drop. for before the end of the year. Who knows? I certainly don't. Otherwise, I'd say. So, okay, cool. That's that. Nothing else has changed. I'm not even going to bother doing the other screens because there's no point. It's just the same thing every single time. Actually, no, I'll do one because it's got crystal ball on it. So name only reveals. We've now seen from the name only reveals. We've now seen crystal ball and Darklon. It looks like. So still keep. I guess just maybe tonight, late in the night, we'll see Snake Eyes version 4 appear. We might see the Televiper. We might see Retro Flint. We might see Cover Girl. Who knows? I sort of hope we don't, in a weird way. I know it's one of those things where like people say, well, don't, I want to see these things, and I get it. I do. I definitely do prefer seeing them officially revealed. Again, it's exciting to see the leaks, but also there's a little bit of inside me that kind of goes, oh, it would have been nice to see it in like beautiful promo images and like, you know, high quality and all that kind of jazz. Anyway, Ben says Walmart did a March 2024 Collecticon, so March 2025. Very likely, Ben. Definitely. I know to some degree Hoth the Basher, but not in this case. I haven't got a clue. I'm just guessing with these until we get like an actual like pre-order listing. I don't know, and I haven't seen a pre-order listing for Crystal Ball. Classified River Otters, codename Laura and Stanley. Still Stanley with that one. Tiger Force Snake Eyes, because why not, says Jeffrey. That would be cool. Yeah, like in hand. In hand. Yeah, I know, but I don't know when it's going to line up with when it's going to be pre-order dropped, if that makes sense. So it's always a matter of kind of maybe making a guess and kind of going, well, if that's going to be happening like at this part of the year, then, you know, totally. I know you're just messing with me, but it's fine. But just to give anyone that's confused out there an understanding of what I know about this stuff, it's patchy to say the least. I'm still curious how the leaks versus the upcoming distribution delay play out. That is a very good point, Jedi Ben. Same. I still don't know what the issue is. That's the other thing that's driving me mad, genuinely. That I don't know what that is referring to, like what the delays, why specifically Joe. What it must be a factory thing, right? And a lot of people have said that already. Of course, I'm not saying anything that hasn't already been speculated on, but I just don't know what the reasoning is, and it's killing me. Anyway, nothing till the summer. It's going to be a long winter. Yeah, Game of Thrones long head. Yeah, indeed. Brilliant. Anyway, yeah, I don't know the delays, man. That's the thing that's really kind of like that's really bugging me, because I want to know what that is and why that's the thing, just to get maybe an idea of what we're in for. Do you know what I mean? Like kind of what like length we're in for. Kitty said, "Oh my goodness." Anyway, I think I'm going to bring it to a close there, because I'm not gonna get any better than that, am I? Thank you very much, guys, for joining me for an evening quickie. Kitty said, I will return, no doubt. We will see if anything happens tomorrow. I don't know. But this one I really wanted to talk about. I'm a bit late in the day, I know, but I definitely wanted to at least talk about it with you guys and express what is effectively absolute love for what we're seeing at the moment on this kind of crystal ball figure. And I'm excited for the promo images, because you know they're going to be absolutely sweet as a nut. The left gauntlet maybe is what projects the Hypno Shield. Oh, that's interesting, Soda. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Anyway, anywho, that's a good shout. That's a good shout. Maybe they have. Again, I'm not going to go into the speculation and delays, because I just don't know what it is, and I hope to find out at some point, and then maybe we can work it out together. Anyway, see you guys on the next one. Thank you very much for joining me. Stay fresh, cheese bags, And remember, after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full force! Latest. That's it for this instalment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on X, formerly Twitter, @The Full Force, liking the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Full Force. We've also added a brand new Instagram, so check us out there as well, @The Full Force Podcast, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force!